Alicia again, and I'm back with more tips on how to complete assignments using Google Chrome, Google Drive, and Gmail. So in our district, a lot of the assignments are listed as a Google Doc that the children need to complete and submit online. This is hard for my second grader, but it is doable with a little help. So what happens is the assignment says student practice. I click on the blue link. It says it's going to be at docs.google.com, so I know it will be a Google Doc, which is like a Word document. But when I click on it, instead of getting a Word document, I get this page. So each student needs to have their own, so instead of taking me to the teacher's copy, it's going to create a copy for just me. When I click on Make a Copy, that's when it will open in Google Docs like I expect it to. So here's the form that I just opened, but I've already completed it. You might need to teach your kids to look for things like colons that tell them they need to finish something, right? My name is, I had to write in Alicia here. We want to teach them not to type in places that don't have a spot for us to type, right? These are instructions. They're not meant for me to type in. But when I get to this colon, now it's my turn again. So the instructions at the top say to share this document. The instructions here say to list the questions about my topic. So I've done that. This is a bulleted list. If I push enter, it will make a new bullet. But what happens is if I push enter too many times, the bullets delete. Things happen. Your teacher's not going to care for second grade if that bullet disappears and there's just a list. That's fine. Okay, but the information is here. So I typed in my questions. Why is Chrome hard to use and how can I upload a photo? Then I went to share it with my teacher by pushing this blue button. When you click share, you can type in the email address for the person you're sharing with. In our district, the email addresses for teachers are their first initial and their last name. And then their full name pops up, so our kids get to know all their teachers' first names, which is fun for them. Anybody who you've shared to before, or in many cases, anybody who's on the same district server is going to pop up quickly. So if I type in, I already shared to my other email address. It's not, oh, because I'm already on here. So I'm already shared with myself. I shared it to my other email address. If I type in Alicia Harabin will likely pop up. So anyway, to add a new person, you type in at least the first initials, and then you can pick the person underneath and add them to share. Now you might notice after you shared with your teacher that first of all, you can continue editing your work. Sharing just means that they can see it now. It's not the same as submitting. It's not finished. So it's okay to share it and then notice like, oh, I forgot my question mark. I'm going to add that now. That's fine. Teachers might write things right on your document. They might send you an email response because they're going to get an email saying that you've shared this document with them. So your child might need to navigate to their Gmail and see if the teacher replied. Okay. Now here, the teacher, who's also me, has replied in the form of a comment. Your child probably doesn't need to know how to make a comment on a document, but they should know how to reply. So right near here it says that Alicia Harabin asked, can you tell me what's hard about it? The highlighted part here is what this comment relates to. And it looks like there's nothing I can do. When I hover over it, this resolve button lights up. So I might want to click resolve, but I should not. Let the teachers resolve. Resolve means the conversation is finished and it closes the conversation and deletes the comment. Our kids probably don't want to do that. But if you click on the comment, now you can reply. You'll notice what the teacher was talking about turns bright yellow, so it's clearer. And I can type a reply in this box, right? It's too complicated with too many words. And I hit reply, and then that's there for my teacher to see. My teacher will probably get a notification that I commented on her comment or replied to her comment, and she might come back and tell me more. Okay, when the teacher is done with these comments, she or he will likely push resolve to delete them. But now we're finished with this document. Okay, so let's talk about another type of assignment. Let's say that your child is asked to create something of their own, right? Type a paragraph. We can always create our own Google document. So back in my Google Drive, which again you can get to through a bookmark if you've made a bookmark, through the dots, either on any Google page or in a new tab. Okay. In my Drive, I see the documents I already have. Here's the one I was just working on that I shared with my teacher. There's a little people button next to it that shows that I've shared it. The others have not been shared. If I want to create a new document, I just go to this new button up here and press it. And now I can select a Google Doc, which is a good place for writing, or a Google Slide, which might be better if you're trying to share images or videos. Let's open a Google Doc and see what that looks like. Now, I'm going to give this document a name. So it could be the name of the assignment, it could be the date, it could include my name. It's probably helpful to your teacher since they're getting lots of copies of the same thing if your child's name is in the assignment. So for instance, in this one, it originally said copy of questions about my topic. I changed that to Alicia's questions about my topic, so my teacher would know it's from me. It's saved that way in my Drive so I can get back to it if I need to. This new document needs a name. So let's say we're going to compare Chrome and Drive. Now, if your child doesn't put their name in, that's fine because your teacher will be able to see who shared the document with them and who it belongs to. All right, so I want to compare Chrome and Drive. Now, let's say that I'm in 2nd grade and I don't really know how to type. So here's a tool you can use. If you go to the Tools menu and go down to Voice Typing, this box will pop up. If it's your first time using this, there'll be a pop-up right here that asks for permission to use the microphone. You're going to click Allow for that, and then this will pop up. So now all I need to do is what it says, click to speak. When I push this button, it will record what I say. Google Chrome and Google Drive are where I have to do all of my work, period. Okay, so now it's typed the sentence for me. This probably would have taken my 2nd grader about 3 minutes instead of the 3 seconds that it took using voice type. If typing isn't part of the curriculum, then your teachers aren't going to care if this is what your child uses. They still might have to check their work to make sure that it's a complete sentence and that the microphone heard them correctly. So this came out pretty well. All right, so I've got a sentence. Let's say now I want to add an image to my work. I can go to Insert, and then I have a number of options. If I go to Image, I can upload a file that I already have saved, which might be hard if they don't know where it's saved on their computer. I can upload something from my Drive, which is a little easier if it's already saved to your Drive. I can search the web. Let's do that now. So let's see, I want an image that shows Google. So I type in Google, I hit enter to search, and now here are some options. I can click on this button to make it bigger and preview it. Our kids probably aren't going to bother with that. Or I can click on my selection, there's a checkbox, and then at the bottom, which you might not be able to see because my face might be in the way, it says Insert. So when I click on that Insert button in blue, it will put that image right in my document. If this is too big, your kids need to understand that these side squares are going to change the shape of the image. If I drag this smaller from the side, it's just going to get squished. If they do something they don't want to do or didn't mean to do, you can use this undo button in the top left and it will go back. Okay? If, however, they use a corner to change the shape of their image or the size of their image, the shape won't change, only the size will change. So now Google still looks like Google, no matter how small or how big I want to make it. All right, so let's say part of this assignment was to make a Venn diagram. Well, how are we going to do that on paper? A Venn diagram is two overlapping circles. So I have some options now. I could use Google's drawing tool. Under Insert, if I go to Drawing, I can add a new drawing. Now here are some drawing tools. To make a Venn diagram, I can make a shape. Shapes. Here's a circle. So I've got one circle. Now by default, it's filled in. That's going to be a problem, and I'll show you why. When I make my second shape, circle, I can't see the part in the middle. If I change the fill color to transparent, I can do that for both shapes, transparent. Now it's just the circles that I need. Now I can't just stick this in the document and write on it. I need to write on it here while it's a drawing. So if I go to the text box option, I can make a box to write in. All right, let's say that this side is about Google Drive. So I'm going to say something over here that's just about Google Drive. It is for saving files. And then I need another text box over on this side for Google Chrome. Chrome is for searching on the internet. Okay. In the middle, I'm going to add another text box. Here's where they have things that are in common. They're both created by Google. Okay, so now I have a Venn diagram. I followed the assignment. I've drawn things in my shapes. If I go to Save and Close, since I'm already in Insert, Save and Close will put that into my document as an image. This stuff is all connected though. So just like the Google sign, if I make it smaller, the whole thing gets smaller. If I make it bigger, the whole thing gets bigger. All the parts are connected. If I want to add more, I can go to Edit and add on to my ideas. Okay, so that's another option for adding things to your document. Now, if your teacher's asking you to make a Venn diagram and that's way too complicated for your child, and it might be, you can also just tell them to make a list, right? You could open a document for them and insert a table. Okay, you want 3 columns. So now this can be Drive, this is Both, and this is Chrome, and they can just write in their answers underneath. That's a little bit more accessible for a kid. The other thing that you can do in a document is access the camera. So if you go to Insert, Image, Camera, now mine's going to pull up some camera software, so you're not going to see my image, but it would be pointing at me. I could hold up my paper and have my camera take a picture by clicking this button, and it would insert that picture. Okay, it's probably going to be hard to read. The Chrome cameras are not great. So you might want to tell your child, do this on paper, insert a photo with the camera, and then use voice type to describe what's in your picture. I made 2 circles. On the side for Google Drive, it says for saving files. On the side for Google Chrome, it says for searching the internet. And in the middle, I said they're both made by Google. All right, so here's my beautiful run-on sentence, but I've completed the assignment. On the Chromebook, they need to use Google Slides if they want to add a video, and the video needs to be uploaded to their Drive. It's very complicated, so I wouldn't necessarily recommend that as your top option for sharing. I would recommend sharing using a doc over directly using email. There are more options for how to upload the information here so that it's easy for the teacher to read and for your child to edit. Remember to hit share and share it with your teacher when you're done. All right, everyone. Good luck.